All right, so we're good. We're going.
Oh, we are going.
This is
Cool.
the second episode of Hazy Charge.
Charge that.
Charge Chat.
Chat.
Charge Chat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you
So-
know the name. You're just making fun of it. Shut up.
We got a full house tonight. We got some of the regular crew. We got Amanda, Tina, Thomas, Brandon, and we got a new guy, Ankle Bourbon, Terrell. He's gonna be joining us tonight.
He has a pretty cool shirt on.
Amanda's self-plugging merch.
It's a pretty cool shirt, though.
Seriously. Well, technically, we have Deadpool and Taro, however you say it.
Totoro.
Yep. see?
Totoro.
Totoro.
I don't know what it is. I just know it from
No, it is like
saying
Totoro or something.
It's my neighbor. That's my neighbor.
My friendly neighbor Totoro.
But what is
Yeah.
Totoro?
It's a
Imaginary rabbit creature that's like 8 feet tall.
Okay.
And
Is it like
holds
a
very
show?
small umbrella. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a Studio Ghibli.
In the studio that did the animation, Studio Ghibli. You
Yep.
notice their art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. You don't watch movies or like anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of the worst. but
Everyone
I'm-
knows the wonderful film Spirited Away.
I've never seen it. I know of it though.
Yeah,
Oh.
it freaked me the fuck out the first time I watched it. I was not ready for that level of greatness.
Yep.
It's
Really popular.
amazing.
Studio Ghibli.
Left my beer over here.
Studio Ghibli.
Did
Can
you
you
like save a
please
beer from yesterday
sponsor?
just for today?
Okay, I have it.
No, I mean like, did you
Japanese
like
Pixar?
specifically not drink that one?
Oh no, I'm surprised they made it.
Yeah.
All right. So, I got to thinking since last time we met. We had this one game. I'm sure some of you guys heard about it. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
A little.
I don't live under a rock.
I mean, yeah, shit started flying. Everyone wanted a headline that just said those 3 goddamn words, and they knew everyone's gonna read it. So,
Wait, Red Dead Redemption 2 is 2 a word?
Red Dead
what was the
Redemption,
numbers?
and then 2.
Well,
I know, but I think 2 counts.
All right, we're thinking. Okay. let's move past that. But I got to thinking. You had recently Final Fantasy 15 had an issue with their PC port. Games are getting huge, not just in marketing budget period, employees, even just the size of them on your console or computer is getting to a ludicrous size, to where some people are legit going, I only have like 3 games on console. Like, I don't have the hard drives. Final Fantasy 15, the PC port was announced at being, you had to have 155 gigs open to install. That's insane. A lot of consoles, I mean, we're getting to a terabyte, but like, that's still 10% for one game's install. That's
yeah.
crazy.
That happened to me, like on my PlayStation. I only had like 6 games installed, and I wanted to install GTA on there, and I couldn't.
I was gonna say
GTA is
GTA
huge.
was the other one that I thought about too. I was like, back in the 60 and had to delete
Yeah.
almost everything.
Battlefield
Yeah.
5 also got super big. Like I know.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I think Call of Duty did as well.
Call of Duty was
huge?
huge.
Big shooter games, yeah.
Well, so that comes back to like the whole like budget. Like, are games just too big now, or do they think we need all of this so they make it that way, or is it just kind of like they fight with each other and they're just like, we'll do it crazy.
I think we
I
do
don't-
need all that.
I don't believe it is them thinking that we need all that. I believe nowadays it's the just the graphic intensity going into the
Yeah.
console versions and everything else. You got to figure, whenever the gigabytes and terabytes and all that were created, that was back whenever shit was small. What are we looking at now?
It's kind of a natural extension of technological progression in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just. I think the natural. I mean, this was the same issue with like the PS2 era. I mean, like
Yeah,
back then you had to have
remember those
a memory
memory
card. Yeah.
hmm
Do you remember how big those were?
I still have one.
100 megabytes.
Yeah.
Look-
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Insane.
And I remember that being an issue back then. Like, I had to have like a billion zillion memory cards, and then you couldn't find the right memory card. Like, you had to like
your
I
right
made
save
stickers.
And everything.
Amanda, you need to change the game for the stream because it says Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, we're not playing them right now.
Oh, it says just chatting on my end. Let me see.
I think I hit that.
And as you just need to update your, maybe you just need to refresh your page.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
there's, like, Kinect
you guys,
chat.
you guys talk about graphics and stuff. Yeah, naturally, we go that's more demanding. But at the same time, the technology that is actually making it appear on screen and progressing with it. So I don't think it's entirely that, because you have small games that are graphically gorgeous, but they're smaller, maybe more linear games. They're not taking up almost 100 gigs. They probably don't break 25 sometimes. They stay small. Like, it's insane. Like, they're trying to make every game an open world game. They want every little detail. They want you to be able to fucking live in this world. Like, do we need that? Like, I don't think every studio needs to pursue a game that big.
I feel like maybe not everyone, but like that is becoming a lot more popular because some people feel like the games before maybe didn't have enough to do, and eventually it gets too boring. So they wanted to expand it, and so they can give the players a little bit more to do versus just doing one straight thing and then like being like, okay, I spent $60 and that's it.
Yeah, I mean every game dev now wants to be the next Rockstar with this big open world sprawling expanse of a game, but I think
we're all at our computers. Speaking of Rockstar and stuff, go look up the map size for GTA 3 and kind of remember. I don't know. I feel like most of us probably played it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it felt big then, but you look at it now and it's small. So go ahead.
Yeah, but between that, but then also with GTA 5 having the other people being able to join in and having that aspect, that's huge. Having all the dedicated servers, which, I mean, of course that's on their end, but I'm pretty sure there's some file space that needs to go into every game to be able to jump you into those different server lays.
Well, there's also that trend of always online.
Yeah.
Literally have zero multiplayer. Like, why do we need that other than you trying to do anti-piracy policies? Like, games are just getting,
Like
I don't
what?
know, they're
Like, give me
getting
an
weird and
example.
just forcing things. I mean, God of War.
But it's weird because that has a leaderboard sense whenever you go into the trials, like the 100 trials that they have there.
I don't know, man. That feels gimmicky to me. That feels like you shoehorning a reason
yeah,
for it.
definitely. Yeah.
It definitely feels like a reason, and then of course there's rewards to go beyond that as well. But I don't know. I just feel like it gives that sort of competitiveness into the game once you finally do that strategizing, finding the best way to do something.
I think that we're also in some ways feeling the effects of the gradual unadoption of the physical media as the primary vehicle for your game. Like, not a lot of people buy physical games anymore, and that's become a thing. And consoles in particular have been very slow to, and obviously because of technological limitations, have been slow to catch up to that. I mean, for a PC, you can just buy hard drive after hard drive and you're good, theoretically. But I think that that's also a factor, and I think that a lot of game developers, a lot of companies are kind of waiting for that technology to be a little bit more widely available, for more storage, and particularly for consoles to be available. And it's kind of a catch-22.
I mean, that's what PS4 has done. Sony, like with PS4, they've made it so that you can expand the storage.
Right.
Like, they thought
Xbox is doing that too.
Yeah, but before
They did it weird.
Xbox didn't.
At first, like, Xbox was like, you can use any external hard drive, but we can only partition like 16 gigs. And everyone's like, that's like one game installation and a zip file.
Yeah, so
And it was very-
what are you really helping?
They unlocked
But
it.
was
They made
also
it
very
whatever size.
specific.
Yeah. No, there was
They had
definitely
to
like
be, you
endorsed
have to
company.
Yeah, like you had to use
Yeah.
like this specific memory block or whatever, but with PS4, you can just buy any hard drive that you can attach to a computer and use that,
Yeah, they definitely have always felt proprietary.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff they'll let you use, because like there's like weird Logitech controllers for PlayStation they'll use the Xbox layout because people like.
But they
But
work
they're
for the
always weird
PlayStation.
Yeah, like I had, because it's easy to find. You can't really find like a station layout for X.
Hmm.
You're cutting out.
But I think a lot of games that do have like that open world aspect, like yeah, it's gonna take a lot of data because it's using so much detail. But I feel like technology has advanced enough that they should be able to compress it, you know?
Yeah, but not really. Like, I feel like we expect a lot as far as like graphic intensity and realism, and we don't want the load time, the load screens, things like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I do graphics, and a lot of people will be like I want this sent to me somehow, but I don't want it to be so huge that you can't email it. And I'm like, okay, well then it's not going to be that detailed. It can't be that
Right.
detailed.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I've completed Red Dead's main story. There's an epilogue portion that I haven't completed, but I mean, this game's like ruined me. I have issues going to other games now and playing just because the graphics are so good.
So you're like, this
It's
looks like
insane.
shit.
It's
This is horrible.
Yeah,
it's the graphics, the interactions that you can do.
I mean, everything-
Just
it's so realistic. It feels organic, just like real life.
Exactly.
That's awesome though.
And I think, yeah, that's something like all of us kind of are looking for in games. VR is a thing because of that. We're trying to get as close as possible to feeling in complete control and being able to kind of have a life.
More
We all want that.
immersive.
Like, yeah, but I don't know. It just feels like everyone's pushing it too hard. Like, I still want a good story that will take me only 10 hours, but I guess profit. Like, no one wants to buy an hour.
there
Down.
definitely are still games like that people are buying. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any examples right now. I can. It's a little 2D scroller game, FTL.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Great game, love that game. But
It's not flying off the shelves,
it,
I thought
it
this
is-
was cool though. Sorry. I'll explain this real fast. I'll let you go. So this is how Horizon Zero Dawn is actually rendering graphics. Like, the open world doesn't exist always around you. It literally is the whole, like, if I can't see it, does it exist? Philosophy existing. Like, if you can't see it, it doesn't.
That's kind of
thought that was cool.
Yeah, that
I
is
think
really
somebody
cool.
might have the stream open. Yeah,
So the
someone's
way
echoing.
the camera shines on the TV, you can't really see the detail.
Yeah.
In the stream. But yeah, so but like, so obviously some games, like the detail and the immersion and like more storyline it makes sense. But like for some games, it's like a little excessive.
And I think that that's another aspect to this. Like, as a game developer, particularly as a large game developer, you have to look at the market and realize that it's become decentralized in a lot of ways. You have a lot of small studios doing really interesting, non-intensive projects, and then you as a big developer say, well, what do we have? We have unlimited horsepower. We have the ability to push the envelope. And I think that there is an incentive to maybe focus less on the story element, because that's what those indie titles have as their main advantage, and you just like flex your technological muscle in hopes of wowing people as much as possible. They're kind of going the other direction
That's true.
and trying to outdo each other.
And yeah, I
That one
think
game. There's a small studio, is Hellblade or something.
yeah.
The story of Sinnoh. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a small studio, released it for $30. Gorgeous game, great story.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's doable. It's just these big studios legit don't want to $30 game. They want these budget titles where there's $120 collector shit.
Yeah, but it's also like we as consumers are expecting that from these big companies. Like, we're expecting like the next new the best graphics I've ever seen, the most immersive world, the most bless you. You want to like pick up a game and get lost in it. Like, we're expecting that.
Yeah, and the thing is that they've already set like the baseline for themselves. Like their thought is that they can't go worse or take a step down. Like, they always have to try to improve and best what is already best for them. And then of course in comparison, like what other companies have already released, and they need to make sure that, oh, hey, that one's a really big hit. Maybe we should make something fairly similar, but also still be able to profit, have some difference. But, you know, like it's hard for them to compete against all of these other big name game developers when there are so many similar games out there already.
Yeah, and I think
Oh, go
some
ahead, Tom.
like with Red Dead, I noticed like some of these devs are still trying to figure out how to harness the power, because I mean I have a 4K TV with HDR, and Red Dead for me with HDR on looked worse than it did with HDR off. So I'm not really sure, and Zombie actually brought that up in chat.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure that they completely understand like
What
how
HDR is even.
yeah, like the technology they're working with, but
Remember
Yeah.
Battlefield 1? You know, they catered to HDR. They had, I forget what it was, but they implemented a system where
ray tracing.
yeah, well, no, not
Or no, that's
that's Battlefield 5. Battlefield 1, like I forget what exactly it was on a technical level, but they introduced elements which are favorable to HDR, even though a very small amount of people could utilize it, and that's why anytime that you were like outside of a building looking in, it just looked like a black void.
Yeah.
It was kind of annoying because there was a guy with a gun in there.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Oh my god.
She just like squeaked really loud. I don't know.
I
if
heard her.
Yeah, I heard something squeak. I thought it was a chair. But okay, so we'll talk about price. Like obviously they're not going to release. They don't want to waste their time with that. They're not going to put resources into a game like that. A lot of these bigger studios, you still have some smaller ones that understand like offshoot project like the passion project. So they'll kind of release a game that maybe funds. But you end up big guys, EA, whatever. They have to release those collector's edition because they're dumping so much to make the game. The only way they earn profit is having these people buying the game twice, to get some extra little knickknack. Like it's like mostly it's marketing. If you look it up, Call of Duty was one of the first ones to drop insane money in marketing to sell the game.
And yeah, I mean look at the
No,
look
you
at
need
the
to talk more into your
publisher,
mic.
Activision.
I can like hear myself in your.
Oh.
Someone's echoing, I think.
Yeah, somebody's echoing, but it's not as bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, game developers, like, depending on how much they market, they're, you know, Amanda knows because she's in marketing, but like, the more money you put into marketing, the more money you're going to need to charge for whatever you're trying to sell so you can make that profit back.
Exactly, and what I'm saying is like we're making these big games, and when you make it so big, you're spending all this money on employees, developers, sitting in front of computers. So I mean, why? Like you're making it bigger and bigger and more and more expensive, and that's, I don't know, as a consumer, I don't want that. Like it's okay if you release a big game and you're like, hey, it's a big game, it's gonna be like $80. Like I'm okay with price flex if you kind of know, if you're gonna be honest what you're selling me. Like, and I feel like games, they're just like, no, we're just making big ass games, sell for big ass price. Like they love that shit.
Well, a lot of the people that are in the business end of anything aren't passionate necessarily about their products. They're passionate about money. So that's something that you'll find in literally any industry. And I don't know if there's necessarily a way around that. But I think that in the gaming industry, there are a fair amount of people who are really passionate about their products. So I think like at certain points, like those people will balance out the other people. Not always, obviously. That's why you get situations like what happened with Battlefront and the loot boxes and all that. But I think for the most part, these people are just really passionate about the game that they're putting out. So they're putting hours and hours into this game, and they have to recoup that somehow.
It's kind of like a bubble, and it will eventually pop. Because at what point does a major IP, like say the next Elder Scrolls title, at what point does that become an unprofitable project? At what point does, like another Witcher game, like when does that become an unprofitable project? At a certain point,
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
flood the market with the IAP, and
when
it's
is
too
a
much.
major game gonna fail, fall flat, and people gonna completely ignore it, and it's gonna and all this money will be spent on essentially nothing. I think that's what will get people's attention. As long as they're still making a profit, then to them there's no problem.
It's the same
Well,
as
I think
movies.
Yeah, I think we've seen time and time again that when game devs like take time and actually make a game, like especially like Rockstar takes a ton of time to make a game, and they set the bar for the industry with their games, and they make tons of money doing it. I think Red Dead 2 had like the biggest opening of like any.
Second, actually, only 2 GTA. I know what you're talking. It was the second all-time in entertainment,
Yeah.
like opening weekend, like
Yeah.
income wise.
Really?
And they're only second to GTA 5, which technically came out a couple days ahead. It was like a Tuesday release. Red Dead was a Friday. So, and even with that, like
It was
first
like-
or whatever
It was like
weekend.
750 million, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, that was a lot.
It was,
Price
it was
around that.
insane numbers.
Isn't
That's
that
huge.
because the original Red Dead Redemption came out a long time ago?
Well,
Yeah.
It was a
Red
couple
Dead
years.
Redemption.
Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah, let's say there was another one before that was
Yeah.
like
Oh, that one was
way
fun
less.
though.
I mean, I played it with a friend. I don't remember it though.
I never played
fuck
any
out
of the
of
Red
that
Dead Redemption games, so.
No, they're good. I mean, they're definitely, but it is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it is. It's
I mean,
literally really similar.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really care for those type of games.
Like, you want to be a cowboy? You can be a cowboy.
Yeah,
No,
go
I don't really
go do
care
some
about being a
shit.
Cowboy.
It kind of ties
I
into
fucking love
something.
boy.
It kind of ties
So you
into some
do.
stuff I heard about like Half-Life 3 a while back, like how that was a big thing for a while. Like
It's
Half-Life
non-existent.
3 Yeah, exactly. Like there was a video that I watched that essentially laid it out. Like, why would Valve ever release Half-Life 3? Why take that risk? Why spend that money when they're making plenty of money through Steam? Like, where is the incentive to put yourself out there like that and to take that risk with an IP like that? When there are you can work on other projects, you can make money in other ways. I think they've kind of finally reached that point, mostly because of Steam and because of the the amount of like use on that service. But that was an interesting perspective that I hadn't really thought of. Like, why would you even take the risk with something along those lines?
Why does Blizzard want to take the risk to go with another World of Warcraft game?
Because
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome and it's going to be really fun.
Hey,
Well, it was one of their most profitable IPs back in the day. So
how
get it.
profitable was Half-Life?
first one I don't think was that big. 2 was hype.
2 hyped out big. Why wouldn't they think 3 could do the same thing?
I think
Well, now
because
you-
it's just
you
been
have-
so long that
Yeah.
nobody is going. No matter what you do, it's going to be wrong.
The
Like,
expectations
so
are
much
up to
Well,
you.
hype.
no matter what you do might be wrong, but guess what? As soon as you drop that, everybody who was looking for that is going to get it. As soon as it drops.
But I mean, they're rich already. So, and they've got other projects that they want to focus on. I think that the money really ties it all together. If you don't have to make the money, I don't think they're publicly traded. So
Kanaz has a
they're-
point. Gabe cannot count to 3.
He can't. He's God, but he can't count. The
He probably wipes his ass with like $100 bills, so I
Every
don't really
day.
think it matters. He
But
get
yeah, he
paid
doesn't
for
have
account.
investors breathing down his neck like Half-Life 3 or you.
That's true too. You do have like, again, all these people are out here just pump shit out. I just need to make a buck off of you.
When you're publicly
we-
traded, that's
what's
what
the-
happens. Like, you have
Yeah.
that pressure because it's like almost like a contract that you're in it to make money for your investors.
Yeah.
So, like, it doesn't matter what you're passionate about, you have to make money. And if what you're doing is not making money, like, that's a problem. So I think that's where we run into that issue, which is kind of sad.
You know what's crazy about the whole like you have to satisfy the investors? You know what like started that?
What?
It was like the Dodge truck company. Like
Yep.
they like sued Henry Ford because he was like treating his employees too well and it less money. And legit, the court was like, yeah, no, he's right. You got to make investors money first. You can't take care of your employees over the. It was like some stupid
Wow.
precedent that was set by that court case.
Yeah,
That
we're gonna
so
need you to
crazy.
fuck over your workforce immediately.
yeah, you got to make
and
money.
see, and that's why Publix is so successful, because they don't have external investors. All of their investors are their employees.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the company I work for now is 100% employee owned. Like that's a pretty good incentive to
Yeah.
work hard. Is If your
Exactly.
company
You
makes a
own it.
profit, yeah, if your company makes a profit, you make a profit.
You're kind of handcuffed to it in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Same
sorta.
thing with any franchise business ownership.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you get a slight incentive from the company that you work for, but it's all employee based
Mhm.
going down.
Yeah.
But I mean, they work, you know, because
coming off.
these people are like, this is my company, or this
Exactly.
is my store, this is my chain. I need to make sure that I'm making the money because who else is
Mhm.
going to profit other than myself and my employees?
Right.
Exactly. And, you know, myself being in the line of business I do, I feel that 110%.
Prostitution.
Uh,
Duh.
only on Wednesdays. But,
On Wednesdays, okay.
Everybody's got a side hustle, man.
I don't knock it.
What's yours, Terrell?
What?
Well,
What's
he's
your
the
side
pimp.
hustle?
He plays
Yeah,
banjo.
I pimp Brandon.
Oh.
100%.
Oh, that's crazy. I
got
pimped Thomas
the-
out.
Sugar daddy.
The purple
Huh?
get up and the fucking cane.
I said that's
and
crazy.
everything.
I pimped Thomas out.
I need a pimp, guys.
Yeah.
You need a pimp or you need to be a pimp?
You want to be a pimp?
No, I need a pimp. Like, I need someone to pay for my shit.
No, you need
No,
a
that's
sugar
not
daddy.
it.
That's
Yeah.
a sugar.
Yeah.
A pimp takes all your money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leaves you with little. He just makes sure you don't get beat up.
JK,
Mhm.
okay then.
You need a sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy.
I was like, you want a pimp? That's not good.
Yeah, it's a little okay. Power dynamic, but sure, okay.
Yeah, it just kind of like, you know, do a little research before you take to Craigslist.
Looking
That
for
post
a
would have
pimp.
gotten weird.
I wouldn't actually do that, okay?
And we are off the
Sure.
rail. Let's go back on.
Hey, I was still slightly on topic, alright?
we,
Yeah, I
we
think it's
can we
true.
can get off topic.
So how about that Diablo mobile? That shit killed me.
Huh?
That's weird.
You haven't
Wait,
seen anything
Diablo?
about this?
No, I haven't.
They announced Diablo Immortal, which is a purely mobile version. The crowd booed.
I saw a lot of
Legit
people
Yeah.
were mad about it.
They
That's
didn't
really
know how to
all.
respond to a crowd booing, and the guy's just like, "What? Do you guys not have phones?"
People don't think mobile gamers are real gamers, so they like to talk shit. And especially
true.
Blizzard elitists, like people that are like, I'm
Oh,
the
yeah.
best ever because
Always been like
whatever.
the developer.
like people who have been playing WoW since vanilla, those are the extreme elitists, essentially.
So they were
Nobody's
probably
seen him in
like,
15
bah.
years.
They don't leave their houses, but that's okay because there's like Uber Eats now, and that's cool.
Oh, they existed before Uber Eats. They're like really like they're capable bastards.
I've seen a South Park episode.
I've seen South
I have. I
I've seen
have.
South Park ones.
What
No,
did you
the
pass
South
me?
Park episode where it's like
the
this
zeitgeist
WoW
of
guy.
culture.
Where's? I'm sorry about
Okay, and Zombie just threw up, you know, we got Fortnite Mobile. We'll also throw out PUBG Mobile.
that. But see, that's like the full game on mobile. It's not. I mean, I guess it depends how they play it out. I feel like people would just feel slighted because people either wanted like Diablo 4 or maybe even a Diablo 2 remaster apparently, but like
But now they're gonna be in a
a
cheesy
mobile
mobile
version
game.
that they know it's gonna be loot boxes, like a lot of pay mechanics.
Freemium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hasn't Blizzard said they're working on the Diablo 4?
I haven't
don't
seen
think so,
anything
but I don't
I
about
haven't heard it.
confirming it.
I
They,
know they
they,
said they had multiple Diablo projects in the works.
I mean,
This
one
mobile
was
game?
the Twitch version.
Yeah,
Or no,
one was a Switch, and
I'm on Switch.
this mobile game.
So I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, some people are like mad because people aren't happy about it, and it's like you're mad because people have an opinion. Like, and if most people that were there booed, like, pretty common opinion.
But do you think
Yeah.
like one or two people started booing and then like everyone started booing because they were like, I also agree with this?
Or because it was at a con, so somebody thought it was funny.
Yeah, I would never boo at any kind of presentation of anything. I just would elect to not buy or whatever that game.
Let's think
That
of
would've
the
been
amount
worse.
of
Silence.
toxic gamers.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, that was always that was the comment I kept saying. They're like, oh, it's toxic. It's like, well, I mean, they're booing because they feel slighted. They're like, what the fuck is this product? No one asked for this.
No
Normally-
one might have asked for it, but there might have been some people who wanted it, and while they were going through doing maybe a Diablo 4 or something like that, of remaster, maybe that was a side project they threw out. something that they can unveil next year that they've been working on.
And everyone was just like, I don't want that. That's not what I imagined it was
Fuck
going to
that.
be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way this comes out and Blizzard doesn't try to like make a shit ton of money off like microtransactions on it. So
Well, that's
I
what
can
people are
understand where
saying.
they're coming from. Yeah.
They're like, this is a cash grab. This is not a passion Diablo project. This is
Oh,
you
not at
guys
all.
going, mobile games make money because that's how you play mobile. Give it money or time. Yeah.
And I think that's
Like-
the problem too. That's like the old kind of running into the new again. You know, like they're seeing. Obviously, they've got Diablo, they've got the IP. It's like, fuck, what are we gonna do with this? You know, we can't just. Not to say we can't just, but they don't want to just make another Diablo game and then like somebody high up's like, well, what's that shit my grandson has on his phone? Fortnite. He can play it on his phone. Make Diablo do that. And then they have to
I mean-
they have to comply.
Like that Harry Potter game that came out on mobile, I was really excited for originally.
Oh, that was brutal. That was aggressive.
And
Ooh.
it's like you literally like I start the game and you pick your little character and you dress her up and you name her whatever, and then or him, I guess it could be a girl or a guy. But anyway, you you go and then at a certain point you get tangled in Devil's Snare, and it's like you can either pay to get untangled or wait an hour
Yeah, fuck that.
of real time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I sat there and just watched my bitch like squirm in the Devil's Snare for an hour, and then I was like, what am I doing? I don't even care.
Wow.
And then I never played it again.
You either have
The
the
end.
patience or you don't, and you pay for it.
That's what we call bad integration.
No way I'd pay that. Play
That's
that.
called money hustling. That's all
I
that.
ain't whipping out my credit card for the Devil's Snare.
Yeah, like, and they did it so
Hey, some
early.
people do in real life.
Yeah, what the fuck happens when we get to the forest with all the spiders in it? Like,
Yeah,
am I gonna be able to pay rent?
No.
No, you burn it.
you just have to throw your phone away.
Yeah, fire costs $4.99. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I just won't play this. I will just not. I just uninstalled, and that
I
was
think a lot of
the end
companies
of
are
that.
still trying to figure out what to do, figure out how it works.
I think they just know that a mobile game will make money because, kind of like you said, like you're still gonna hit a market that isn't to consoles and PCs. They
Mhm.
want that little time waster. They're like, oh, I got 30 minutes right now. I can kill. Like,
And it's like, would you rather pay $60 for a game or just pay 99 cents 60 times?
But not only that,
I'd rather
but
pay
would you
$60.
rather do that and only be confined to your computer or your gaming console, or be able to do something on the go?
but it's gonna be. It's not gonna have
It's gonna
processing
it's
power. It's not.
Well, it doesn't matter. But
So some people it does. They want a pretty game that runs
Yeah.
well, not just a game that can play it. Right? Like,
Of course, but the phone game user, which nowadays is you're looking at middle-aged to older adult.
I think it's kids playing these though.
No, there is a vast majority of middle-aged to older adults. Whenever Candy Crush and Farmville came out, all that shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
like,
true.
the
My dad
idea
plays Battle
that-
Pirates.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the idea of that is like people are so busy nowadays, so they're always somewhere, right? But their phone is always in their hand, so it's easy access to these games to people, to a population of
Mhm.
people that these games would never have ever reached before.
Yeah.
So it's still definitely a viable market. It maybe
Nah,
the
it's dumb.
sales aren't as high, but it's still fairly viable.
Exactly. There
it's
is
a
that.
cash grab.
It-
We all
it
know
is.
Yeah, it is, but that's still like it's a
It's a
viable
shit
market.
product that you just push because people that are gonna play this don't know Diablo. They don't know a
Exactly.
shit game. Like,
Exactly.
that's predatory almost. Like,
Yeah.
as a consumer, stop. I mean, I don't know why you guys always jump on like the fucking corporation side. This is weird.
No,
You guys
no,
are all
no,
consumers, and you guys are like, yeah, but these corporations, they got rights, so
No,
they can
no.
do this. And it's
No,
like, yeah, but like as a consumer, this is fucking predatory shit, and it's
It's
dumb.
not,
I don't
it's
want
not
it.
all about
You
that.
get it.
It's full on about making that money, finding the
No,
outlet.
I
that-
get, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you deserve this backlash when people that are ready to throw money at you, and you go, yeah, but this stuff, and they're like, no, but I want that,
And they have
you just
every
go,
right to just not
money though.
play it.
We're
I
not
say
gonna give
just
you
don't
what
play
you
it.
want. We're just gonna give you what's best.
We're gonna fuck some other
Yeah.
like.
I think it's less about like siding, because obviously corporations suck. I mean, they suck for a lot of people, but they're necessary. But it's more about the inevitability of the release. Like, you can only make so many Diablo games before people are like, well, this is just Diablo 6 is just like Diablo 5 and
Call of
Diablo
Duty
4.
syndrome, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, so you can
Yes.
go one or two
Assassin-
ways with it.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed, same way.
You can
They
try to modernize.
realized it though. So I mean, you can become self-aware that you're saturating your own market, and take a step back and relaunch it, and it'll make you more money. Like
Yeah,
literally,
Creed did a-
Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
went
did a great job.
down, and then fucking revamp their shit. and
Yeah,
Their
exactly.
games
You
are
can
once
be
again popular.
creative, but the problem with that is most of the people, like, the option to be creative also comes with like the caveat that you can't be a little bitch about it. You have to do it.
Guys,
Yeah.
real quick.
What are you doing?
What
You
are
look
you doing?
deformed, bro.
I'm gonna throw that out there.
What?
You look like a sack of
What?
leaves.
So,
What are you doing?
You look like a sack of leaves, is what he said. I'm dead. Like one of those scarecrows that people just put out in front of their house on
Like,
like
this took me
Halloween.
5 minutes to make.
Brandon,
man.
what
I
was
guess
that
you-
all about?
What?
What was that all about?
I like that look you're giving me.
What? I want you to know that in that whole entire thing, in that spiel, I ripped my headphones out of the jack.
oh,
Yeah,
Riley did
we
that shit
were
to me.
So confused.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why you were confused.
A lot of noise.
Well,
Yep,
all you missed was
This is the
Terrell
boring
saying
part.
you look like a sack of leaves.
What?
Terrell said you look like a sack of leaves, Brendan.
When you had
Hey,
the
you know.
thing was all askew and it was just like, oh, there's got to be leaves up in there.
Yeah, nope. That was just a whole bunch of great power going with great responsibility.
Yeah. There's dirt.
You
too,
are
but
Spider-Man.
It was
That's-
in the leaves.
Or Spider-Man.
No, that was the fourth wall breaking.
No.
That was my moment for the night.
Full Deadpool.
Full Deadpool.
With wall break.
You guys, I've still never seen Deadpool.
Yeah, you
How do
don't
we
need
feel
to.
about that?
You don't need
Disappointed.
to.
Shut it down.
Disappointed.
Angry.
I don't want to
It's
be on your
okay,
side.
but if you don't like superhero
It's
movies in
going
the
so
first
well.
place,
Yeah, she doesn't really like
they're
it.
alright.
I bet I would
know,
probably
if-
like that though.
If you
Deadpool's
enjoy
alright.
a bunch of goddamn acting by Ryan Reynolds, then you would love it.
I don't know if I've ever seen Ryan Reynolds in anything before.
You have seen Ryan Reynolds in tons of
You'd be surprised how little she has seen.
Yeah,
Off
she
Anything.
doesn't
topic.
watch very many.
You've never
movies.
seen
Off
Ryan Reynolds.
topic.
Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
guys,
that's
like,
allowed. We're allowed to do that.
I don't watch a lot of movies, but I've watched more than Amanda. That's saying something. I don't watch scary movies though, but she watches scary movies.
Oh, I've seen so many scary movies. Like I've seen like every scary movie.
Oh.
Every
Not
well,
every, but I've seen a lot.
Chicks
Deadpool's
chicks
great.
dig horror movies. It's weird. They like that weird adrenaline rush. Some
Ryan
Apex
Reynolds
Predator
has
shit.
voice acted in some Family Guy episodes.
Who?
Ryan Reynolds has voice acted in Family Guy episodes a
I think
couple
he was,
times.
yeah, he was. in there
He
as
was
Matt.
Did one project that I was like, oh shit.
the movie R.I.P.D., which was shit. Never watched that.
Never saw
Wasn't
Wasn't
that.
that with Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
How
Like-
did I get that?
Like
terrible.
negative out of 10. Okay, if we're gonna talk bad, we're gonna talk Green Lantern, which was
Oh
shit.
yeah, I heard
We're
of
gonna
that.
talk
He's
X-Men
aware.
Origins. He was very aware of both of these.
Well, that was when he played Deadpool, but it was like that fucking weird version.
The Deadpool.
So weird. So weird. had,
He
like,
was in
samurai-
Blade Trinity.
I mean, he actually like makes fun of
bullets.
that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
does.
so
that.
good. In Deadpool 2, he time lapses back. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
shit.
I love
really
that.
fucking funny.
I mean, I'll eventually see the second one. I thought the first one was
Oh,
alright.
oh,
No,
You
the
didn't
second
see
one
the
was
second
good though.
What the fuck?
I don't watch movies.
Bro.
No, I mean, most of the people in Avengers they're not dead. They're not
Ryan
dead.
Ryan Reynolds.
Okay,
Hulk's
so-
dead.
Ryan Reynolds duetted with Celine Dion in a video shoot.
I saw that.
Yes, it
I
was
saw that.
amazing.
Wore high heels.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
they did.
As Deadpool, yeah. Oh my god,
It was
like,
so good.
They had to
wouldn't
pay her
really
so
think
much.
That I would be the type to watch
Worth
like
it.
superhero movies, but I've watched almost every single one of the MCU movies, other
Yeah.
than Black Panther and the very original like Hulk movie, which I've heard is crap.
Yeah, you don't need to watch that.
Yeah, so I've literally watched like almost all the MCU movies.
I heard Black
there's
Panther was
gonna
good,
be-
though.
It was.
Yeah.
There's going to be a movie based around the game Clue, and Ryan Reynolds is going to be in that.
Oh, I did see that. I didn't see it, but like I saw that was gonna exist.
Yep.
I mean, the first one that they did was pretty good. They had some big names in that one.
I didn't
Mhm.
see that.
Look it up real fast.
We should play some Clue, guys.
Oh my god.
On Tabletop Simulator, I'm sure it exists.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's there.
I'd rather do that than deceit.
You're a butthole.
Your face is a butthole.
Wow.
Get a better comeback, Tina.
Tim
No.
Curry, Christopher Lloyd.
That's my comeback for everything.
2
I
out of 5
know.
for the comeback, 4 out of 5 for the delivery.
Thanks.
This guy's name is Will Nye.
Will Nye.
Will Nye.
The Y and
Uh,
Y.
The why it's why.
Oh my god.
Poor guy. They're like, do you know Bill? No, I don't fucking know Bill.
No idea.
I feel like that is an appropriate Ryan Reynolds response if anything like that were to happen.
It's like
Because
a
that man-
nice- let's
That
go.
man embodies Deadpool in everything he does, and it's so good.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Great.
he took like his Green Lantern character, just made it fourth wall break.
Let's also throw out there that whenever they revamped the Deadpool series, Ryan Reynolds was one of the co-sponsors for the series.
Oh, he helped fund that like short that they made to like present.
No, he was one of the big producers for the short for the original Deadpool movie.
Yeah,
That was
car
like-
chase scene.
That was like 80% Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I remember hearing that he was like
Yeah.
heavily involved in that. Like he legit this was
He made it
a
happen.
passion project.
That's good that
We're
you're
into-
passionate.
We are into my line of work right now.
Yeah, because like they didn't want to fund like Deadpool because they thought it would flop because of the R rating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And once it like succeeded, they pretty much greenlit the second one.
Why
I
would they think
wore-
it would flop because of the R rating? Like I don't understand.
Stupid.
I think Disney, who owned it? It was Fox, right? Fox thought that like
No, that
Sony owns Deadpool. I think.
What?
There was someone was like making a joke about how like X instead of like Marvel heroes in the movie, the first one.
Oh.
That way it wasn't technically like Disney being involved.
I know nothing about this.
I'm pretty sure Fox.
All the way out of my fucking.
yeah, 20th century, yeah.
Yeah, Fox owned Deadpool and
X-Men.
yeah, X-Men.
Okay.
And they thought the
And
R
then,
rating
like,
would be like
They didn't. Yeah, they thought that like, because I guess they thought their like main audience was like kids.
Yeah.
So
Also, one of
they
the
don't
other
agree with
big
it.
buyers in was T.J. Miller.
Yeah.
Not sure if any of y'all know what he was in.
I do not.
I know he's like.
He's been in a few things.
So, do you remember the movie Cloverfield?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the camera guy.
Yes.
He was the
Oh.
camera guy.
Okay.
More recently, he's been doing. Well, actually, I think he got fired from Silicon Valley.
He was
Got
in the
arrested for a bomb
Emoji
threat.
Movie. Great movie. It's a joke.
Kill yourself.
In what movie?
Nothing.
Fuck it, I'll say it. Jesus Christ.
What movie was it?
Nothing at all. Nothing.
I was
That a
coughing.
joke.
I didn't hear it.
The Emoji Movie.
Oh Jesus.
Oh.
He was also in Big Hero 6.
Oh, I love that movie.
Ooh, I love
Didn't
that
watch it.
movie.
You didn't watch it? It's so good.
Rock of Ages.
Don't know that.
I haven't seen it, and I know what it is.
Oh my. Wow, you're right. Y'all don't really know movies.
Yeah, you thought I was like
like
just lying about it?
I
Yeah.
didn't think it was that bad.
Oh, it's bad. I lived under a rock until I was like in high school, essentially.
It's okay. Cloverfield was his big on-screen break.
Yeah, that was about the time.
The
Yeah,
only
Cloverfield's a good
movies
movie.
I
He was
watched
doing,
back
like,
in the
stand-up and
day
stuff.
exactly. Mhm.
was Disney and Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh,
So cultured.
I know.
What was the? I saw someone was using it in a meme, and I was just like, I remember that fucking movie. It was like a teenage girl that lived on a station or some shit. It was an
Xenon
original
Girl of the
Disney.
21st Century.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
They go
Never
like,
seen it.
What was
Brink.
it?
Everyone knows Brink.
Boom, boom, my
Oh,
sister
yeah.
knows the girl.
They're like boom, 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 make my heart go zoom, zoom.
Oh Jesus!
Do you remember
I forgot
that?
about that song. Now I remember it.
It was
I
like the
forgot about
pop singer. Like,
It had Raven was in that movie.
yeah, she was.
it. She was her
best
token
friend.
black friend.
No,
Yeah.
she was her best friend. Shut up, Garrett. No, but really, there's a new Harry Potter movie coming out, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, Amanda, tell
Is
them
there?
why you're so excited.
Tina got us like IMAX tickets, and we get a pin, and we get to see it early. Is that all that came with it?
Yes.
Okay.
See,
It's
So
not
you
like
see it-
actually a Harry Potter movie, though, is it?
it's a
Fantastic.
universe.
Yeah, it's the Wizarding World universe is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
It's like it's
So-
before those movies.
Yeah.
It's like 100 years. Well, not quite. It's like
It's like
it's like 80 years before Harry Potter
Yeah.
starts. Harry Potter starts in like all takes place in these.
It,
Oh, yeah.
it takes place in the 1800s.
No. The fucking Fantastic Beasts. I thought it was after World War One.
Oh yeah, sorry, early 1900s.
Yeah, it was like interwar, right? Like
Yeah,
before
early
World
It
War
was around
It's
it.
in
I
like the
thought.
20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
1920.
World War One ended in 1918 or.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know World War One as well.
Yeah, cause yeah, it's like 20s or 30s. Cause then, because Harry Potter starts in 1990, essentially.
Yeah, so it's like
I didn't know it was in the 90s for a while. That
so it's like
explains.
70 years
Mm-hmm.
apart. But yeah, it's like a prequel. It's like how Grindelwald and Dumbledore and all these people are connected.
I mean, getting to see young Dumbledore is gonna be kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, I think it'll be
Yeah.
awesome. Everyone's mad that Johnny Depp is playing Grindelwald, and I think that
Not mad.
that seems pretty like a good
He plays
choice.
all the awesome shit.
Yeah, like that seems like a good choice to me.
It's
seems
because
like
of
a
the
good-
allegations against him.
I know nothing about
Everybody
Allegations.
gets alligatorations.
Alligator.
Alligator.
Hollywood is like a human shithole. I think
It pretty much
everybody
is.
has something to hide. Everybody is doing something morally reprehensible. Like, and obviously, like I know that, you know, what is being done is wrong, but it's like you guys didn't think, you know, in the back of your mind that an industry that essentially runs off deceit and forgery and money is not going to be like morally bankrupt from the inside out.
Yeah, like I mean, it's still shitty, but that's kind of what it is.
You kind of know. You kind of know.
Yours doesn't have a scroll. This is fuck.
What?
Your laptop sucks.
It has a scroll. You use two fingers.
I've been trying to use 2 fingers.
That's what she
Yeah,
said.
well, you're
but
not
it's
using them
working.
good enough, Garrett.
It says that's too many.
What?
Too many fingers.
Your my laptop says that 2 fingers is too many. It's saying that on the screen right now.
Yeah, no, it literally says it. Yeah. It's like that's too many. Take one
it
out.
please.
Man, that's a pretty tight laptop you got there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's old.
okey-dokey.
Poor Thomas.
Okay.
Poor innocent ears.
It's I think Thomas, yeah, he's the
Yep.
Innocent
So, on a
ears.
side note, has anybody here seen the movie Venom yet?
No.
No. I
No.
have been wanting to
Ooh,
watch
everyone that I have listened to about it, no. It's
No, it's
not.
not good.
What?
But that.
Oh,
Eminem
no.
song on
No,
Comic-Con,
didn't even bother. Didn't even listen to it. Nope.
Oh no! Venom, in my opinion, was a great
Corporate
record.
rap is shit. Anytime it's soundtrack rap,
Wait, what?
Soundtrack rap is awful.
I mean,
that's what I mean by it.
Bro, Run the Jewels was on that soundtrack.
I'll give you
That
that
song was
one.
okay. I mean, well, I don't know. Rap wise, lyrics wise, they're not great. Love their production. They're hype as fuck.
Spit a disgusting youngin' and hold your nuts while you gunnin'.
Hey, that's some lyrical genius right there.
It's
Okay.
something. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like Shakespearean, but I love the fuck out of it.
No, they're good. I like them.
Yeah, I always like Run the Jewels, man. Death Grips.
I'm an Eminem guy. Kamikaze was the shit.
I feel like when you probably started listening to him, not to like call you out, but like, I feel like it was right when he was getting to his weird druggy habit. I mean, granted,
Yeah,
all of
I
his
came
old
in-
albums were out there, but like the music he was
Yeah.
releasing, probably when you started to listen to him was when he was.
Yeah, I came in like around Recovery, so like
Ugh.
2010.
Ugh.
I liked Recovery.
I really liked Recovery, but
Yeah, I don't know, man.
apparently some people
I-
didn't.
I get that shit where people are like, you just phoned it in. Cause like it felt hollow. I didn't care for like Rihanna being on every hook, every other goddamn.
I mean, that's just new age rap,
Like-
though, right?
Well, it's almost a fallback to like '90s hip hop where females did hooks a lot.
Can we just talk about T-Pain rhyming mansion with Canson?
No, he's a lyrical genius. Him and what was the? Oh, there was that time period where rappers loved pronouncing things. They would overemphasize like chandelier.
Yep.
Like I loved it though. That shit made me
But
laugh.
let's really think about that. You know, trying to figure out the wording to go with the lyric before or the line before. Come on.
I mean, part of it, the one crutch they hate rap is when they mispronounce a word to finish a rap, like a rhyme pattern, and then they go, "Oops, I mean." I'm like, all right,
Oh, yeah,
you had nowhere to go with that, and that was your crutch to hop out of it. I hate that shit.
Well, I mean, like Eminem can like bend words.
But he's done it. He has a couple tracks where he does that shit. Stop it.
It's kind of
man's reads dictionaries and encyclopedias and fucking thesauruses and reads Braille on an atlas.
the whole
What?
misrhyming thing. Like that's kind of the equivalent of when you're here, like you're listening to a primarily melodic song, and then they just like have a random spoken word part, just like interspersed. It's like, well, just say you're out of ideas. Just say, I'm sorry, I didn't want to finish this song. I'm a lazy piece of shit.
All right, I'm filling
Here's the
30
chorus
seconds.
again.
Have you ever seen that video where Eminem rhymes words with orange?
Dorhan.
Yeah, I have seen
Forehead.
that. I have.
He goes through a couple where he's like, I can rhyme it with this
Yeah.
and this and this.
Yeah.
Where he like bends the words or like uses a certain dialect to make it rhyme. It's pretty
Yeah, you just throw an accent on it.
No, I
Yeah.
kind of like how he does that because not just with Orange, but like with Eminem specifically, he'll like change up his meter just so that like the middle of a word will fit like the end of a measure. So like basically like he'll almost like speed up so that like the middle of a word kind of hits the end, so like the middle of a word rhymes with the previous one, but it's not the end of the word.
Well, there's a bunch of rhyme. He's had some pretty deep rhyme schemes where
Yeah.
he's pulling 4 lines apart rhymes that you don't even notice until you've listened to the song a couple times. You're like,
Mhm.
holy shit.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know.
Technical.
Yeah.
And like he'll say things that have like more than one meaning. That's double entendre, right?
Yeah.
And it's
mhm.
just
Yeah.
like fucking mind-blowing lyrics,
Pretty good at
in
wordplay.
my opinion. Yeah.
Definitely, I agree.
You guys want to talk about some serious gaming shit again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, alright, you guys aren't big Rainbow Six people, but I kind of am. And I woke up this morning to a subreddit that was pissed off about something I didn't even know happened. They announced what they put as aesthetic changes and went on to explain that they wanted to release the game in Asian markets, aka China. So they're basically editing the game to follow their publishing laws, censorship laws. So what that essentially means is you have to take blood off the wall, it was already on there. Take knives out of like imagery, skulls, like gambling, any like slot machines and stuff. There's some
Lewd
maps that have
women.
slot machines taken
Which
out. Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, this isn't the first game that had this, but the way that they're approaching it that's causing the uproar is they're like, we're not doing 2 different versions. We're releasing one version for like a global version, but China will be region locked, is what they kind of said. So they were like, okay, well, if you're region locking anyway, leave Europe and North America, the Americas, with their regular client, because we can blood and not fucking out. But like people just don't want the change because there's parts of maps where it's like that's the casino room, there's gambling. How are you gonna take it all out? You're changing the game away.
Yeah, they're just putting like a
But-
bar top instead.
Yeah,
And it's
you
like
have
that's-
games like
There's
I
a
think
stripper room. They're
Counter-Strike.
taking out the stripper
Yeah.
like little neon
There's
sign.
neon sign. And then you have games like CS:GO. They have a tiny addition essentially where they edited the game the way they needed to. There's not blood effects. Particle effects are like a weird black and gray or something. Took out some like graffiti on the Arabic maps. Like, and there's one map that they took the whole map out probably because it's Tibet. So like they released an edition, its own thing. And then they have the regular version everywhere else. People are like, they can do it. Why can't you?
Because they're lazy.
Ubisoft. And that's what people are calling them out for. They think it's just a lazy way to where they don't have to spend as much resources maintaining 2 editions.
But that's not fair to us and to everyone who's already
It
on
really isn't.
on the game, on the platform, knows like the aesthetic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're taking out the knife where it shows that you like melee someone and putting a fist, but you don't punch them. That doesn't.
Well, there's characters. There's characters like Cav, the one she has her finger like this, but it's a knife
Yeah.
as her finger.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you don't punch them.
So
You're
dumb.
They said
stabbing them.
the animation is remaining in the game to stab. Well,
So the Chinese people can see people being stabbed and being shot, but you can't have blood on the wall or a slot machine in the room.
yep.
That's just weird government shit.
And yeah, it's just shit.
But they're censoring us.
Yeah.
They're censoring
common.
us because Chinese people need to be censored, and I don't think
Yeah,
that's
it's
very fair to
lazy.
us.
Yeah, it is. It's just
I don't
laziness.
It might not be
Fine
lazy.
argument.
It's that's difficult. That's a difficult one.
Let's say you're trying to play devil's advocate. You're gonna have a hard time with this
No,
one.
It's
no,
lazy.
because no. I mean, let's. Oh God.
You have
come
a
on.
game that's it's its 3rd year, ending its like
Yeah.
3rd year now. It's been established.
Yeah,
It
Like,
already has a community. Like, they know that
it's-
they're doing
It's
it.
getting nothing but bigger. You have the money. You have the resources to do this shit. Like you can easily publish a Chinese edition.
You're gonna make tons of money from the new market and from the sales.
Yeah, I mean the
Is
game
this-
has loot box.
And let's be clear, this isn't a new...
no. Loot boxes in the EU is now done. So.
In the
fuck
whole
that.
EU, I know the Dutch government. Well, in
They're-
China, you have to disclose chances. So basically,
Yeah.
Ubisoft has to publicly release your chances of winning certain items. So people are like, all right, well, at least we'll get that info out of it, I
But-
guess.
But at that point, regarding everywhere else, it's still childhood gambling.
Well, yeah, we're welcome to that consensus, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
It's a
mean,
topic for another day.
government.
Well,
doesn't-
yeah, it's a topic
it's been
for-
talked to death. I mean,
It
every
has,
time it
it
comes
has.
out, everyone's talking about loot boxes, how they don't need to be in this game, and most of the time they don't.
no.
But yeah, I think it's lazy. I mean, we've had instances in the past where games come out that have very like deliberate narratives. Games like Wolfenstein where you're killing Nazis,
Yep.
and like
The best kind of game.
Bethesda had to censor the release in Germany. Like, there's no swastikas in Wolfenstein.
They finally repealed that law, by the way.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
That
think
changed
they,
the.
yeah, you can now have swastikas like certain media.
Well, I know back
I'm
then.
sure you still can't like march around with one, but I think like movie, video games kind of portray.
Like killing swastikas or people that have swastikas on them, not just killing
yeah, like
a
no
swastika.
real life shit. Like you
I
can
think
use
they
it in
just
art.
wanted to disassociate themselves from their past. I think that's part of it. They don't
Hey,
want to be seen as-
Kanaz, you're quiet.
They
No,
they
not
would-
Kanaz. Wow, Terrell.
Yeah, you're low. But what was I gonna? What did you say, Terrell? God damn it.
They wanted to
What?
disassociate themselves from their past.
Yeah, they want to disassociate that from their culture. They don't want to be seen as supporting that because they are obviously like the origin of, Nazism. They don't want to be
But-
seen in any way.
Oh, that I was gonna say they changed the German language after the whole Hitler era. Like Führer was leader. They changed the word,
Yeah.
so they never had to use that word
But
again.
the game Wolfenstein isn't saying like all Germans are Nazis. It's saying like you're killing not like for them to be like, no, we don't want a game where you kill Nazis. It almost sounds like, hey, are you like supporting Nazis?
Now, I think they're just sensitive to the subject matter in general. They don't want it anyway. They don't
It's
want
almost a shame.
territory.
They're
Yeah.
ashamed of
Yeah.
it. I mean, that's fair.
I guess, but like, so the way people are seeing the situation is Ubisoft is kind of being cowardly and almost they're bowing down to China for us. Like they're allowing China, like Chinese law, to influence what we're buying or what we have,
But
which
now,
is weird.
could we say the same thing where in the United States with Red Dead Redemption 2, you are allowed to kill KKK members and not lose rep?
Okay.
Are we not ashamed of the KKK here?
No, we are. We are
Yeah,
very much so. No, but they still put them in game and allow you to kill them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was like Mafia 3 the same way. I mean, like.
Well, yeah, but that's going on to the point with, Nazis in Germany. That was bad all around, but so was the KKK in America.
So, I mean, the KKK did invade most of Europe and kill 10 million people.
I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about.
There was a big killing with the KKK with what they.
But not 10 million people.
It wasn't 10 mil, but.
I think it was more like just the fashion of the way like the German people they did kind of get behind it a little bit at first when they were winning. Like, World War II podcast, guys. Here we're talking about Nazis and where they went wrong and what they could do better next time.
No.
But I think it is just Germany looking back and going, like, we don't want to almost seem like we're still okay with this. Like, this is not okay.
And
like,
what better way than killing Nazis?
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's a censorship out of like respect to yourself, and then there's censorship where someone just goes, "I'm offended," and now you have to censor it. And like, I feel like German law to go, we just don't want that symbol in our fucking country anymore. That's respectable. No one's mad at them for that. It makes it hard to get some games. I think they have like a weird violence law too that they haven't repealed, because like Left 4 Dead 2 it's like decomposing hand holding a 2, and they had to like edit the photo to.
Oh no, they did. They changed the cover.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
I mean, that's like China going like, we don't want that violence. Australia has a big issue with stuff like that.
But it's a shooting game. Like, when does censorship go too far? I get that Chinese people, they live in a communist country. Like, I get that. But like,
it's a mature rated game. Kids aren't supposed to be playing it in the first place. That's the whole point of the rating system.
Like, I think to answer the question, like, I think it's laziness, and it's like Ubisoft has known this wasn't like they woke up one day and was just like, let's release it on the Chinese market. Like,
oh yeah, no, they've been working.
To know this was coming.
You have to talk to the government.
That's on them, not on us, and we shouldn't have to suffer.
Yeah,
and it's not like they don't have it in the budget. Like, they have it in the budget to make a Chinese version of this game. Like, basically, they would just have to copy all the code and change certain things, make the changes, and then deal with 2 servers, basically. 2 like multiple servers.
They're gonna be region locked. They're gonna have their own servers anyways. Like, that's where a lot of people are like, because at first people were kind of like, okay, so you're not gonna region lock them. Kind of want that, but then a UB representative jumped in a subreddit, kind of said a sentence that made it sound like they were getting their own region locked servers for their edition game, and people were like, seems like you just admitted that they're getting their own version, but you're still gonna force us to have the same. Like, that's where people are like, that's your laziness. You don't want to like balance and patch 2 versions of the game, and it's like, I get the corporate side, like, that is time and money, but like at the same time, it's like, I want the version I've had for the last 3 years. It's awkward for you to literally take aspects of the game. There's callouts that revolve around things you're taking out. Like, I have to relearn callouts because maybe a blood splatter isn't my callout to do with the blood or the roulette. Like, you do change the game unnecessarily for everyone.
Well, saying casino.
Hey,
now that's not
Harold,
casino,
do you have
right?
a comment for this?
What?
Do you have a comment for this? I thought I saw you moving your lips.
It might possibly have something to do with the anticipation of the changes. Like, maybe they weren't anticipating to have to make these changes, and then they submitted the documentation of whatever you have to do, and the Chinese government responded like, oh, that's fine, but we want all this removed, and Ubisoft was like, fuck. Okay. So maybe it was, I mean, obviously it's lazy, but maybe it was also just an unpreparedness on their end to deal with the demands of the Chinese government, not anticipating the censorship, not anticipating having to make any changes, and now they just don't want to because they want to roll this out ASAP and start making money.
I get the whole making money.
I mean, that would happen. You have to talk to the Chinese government to get permission to release there and go through special Chinese public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the time. I mean, Terrell has a point. Like, they probably want it to go out as soon as humanly possible.
That's if you can get it in China, a lot of people play video games.
But it
Yeah,
almost
yes, they
seems
do.
like
Bodies.
not fair. Like, it just seems not fair because I do realize there are a lot of people in China, and I do realize that'll be a lot of money. So you're saying all that profit that you're anticipating, you can't take the time to,
You're not to stereotype or anything though, but like
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about like the massive market in China, and there is a massive in China, but they play on like these machines in internet cafes that like chug running League of Legends. How the fuck are you gonna play Siege?
I don't know about that. I think they have both ends of that spectrum. Because they've embraced, they know gaming is a thing. Like Tencent is a Chinese company, and they're one of the biggest names in gaming.
True.
Like
a lot of people play. Like
they know the value of that entertainment for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, maybe we're just ignorant and, changing like some blood on a wall or like a casino with
I don't-
massive amounts of code. But like, from where I'm sitting, just like the ignorant, I know nothing about game development. Like, it just seems like a lazy move.
Yeah, it seems unnecessary because if you're gonna do the work anyways, leave one game untouched.
Yeah, they already have it the way that it is
Like,
now. They're gonna have to change it.
Yeah, I don't. It does seem
It's
just
the maintenance of the two separate games, I think, is their issue. So now
you
going forward,
patch one, it works on both. Like,
it would do a lot to improve their reputation too, because they are a hated company just like EA. I mean, when you buy a Ubisoft game, you're like metaphorically giving them the finger as you're walking out with their game.
yeah, I mean,
Nobody likes Ubisoft.
Rainbow Six was one of the few games published by Ubi that a lot of people trusted. Still, they added the loot year 2 or something, and it's still they're good. They went the Overwatch route where it's all cosmetic. They got some shit for the Halloween event because like to get all the Halloween items, $50 you had to buy credit. So people
That's
are
a
like
lot.
$50 for like a couple of things. I think it was like overall it was like 20 something items, but there was only like a handful of cool skins, maybe charm. The rest is just kind of like bullshit. I'm not paying $50 for that.
but at least
And it was
they
only a
have
loot
it.
box.
Don't they have it so you can actually purchase them though?
Some of them are locked in the box. Some you can't. You can only get out of the box the regular
Yeah.
one.
I mean, it's not as scummy because like you're guaranteed those items. Like you don't get duplicates. So
That is one thing I do appreciate about that is they understand like, well, you can only get the by paying for them, so it would be kind of fucked up to get a duplicate, like.
yeah, I mean,
You
at
would
least they've got
immediately
that
do that.
going for them. But like, I don't know.
Now is the R6 like system for getting drops and all that? Is it as big as, let's say, Overwatch?
I guess it runs a little bit different. It kind of runs a little bit more on chance, where Overwatch is your playtime essentially. If winning, you'll get up faster, no matter
Right,
what.
but
Playtime
like as
will
far as
sleep
the unlocks go, is it as big as that?
up. How do you mean like big?
Like per character, there's 50 to 60 some unlocks per class in R6, whereas Hero in
They-
Overwatch.
Probably not. They don't have as many like character skins and stuff. They have a lot of weapon skins and then what are called charms, which are just literally chains put on the gun. So like
Okay.
they have some aesthetic pieces that they do have a lot of, but it's not character oriented, I guess. So
Yeah.
their system is a little bit different in that sense, where it's like I get something and most likely it'll work for everyone or a group of. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not as visual or not as visible like within the game or in the community. I don't feel, and I don't play Siege all that much, but I've never heard of anybody being like, "Yo, Cav's interrogating the fuck out of me," but she looks amazing.
Yeah.
She looks so good. That
Yeah.
skin.
Hey, that
Don't
Anna's
die,
healing the
but-
shit out of me and looks good as fuck.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you have. It is essentially a hero shooter, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
it started off as trying to be realistic, and by the time they got out of year 1, they were like, "We're releasing fun skins," and then that's when you had like weird looking guns, and then
Okay.
now the Halloween event, one guy has a skull with the helmet on. One guy's face looks like it just blew up.
So
Like,
is
they
it
got
kind of like
weird.
the CS:GO like gun
Yep,
and
yep.
knife box? Okay.
Yep. Just how like they just got crazy with designs to
Yeah.
just be cool, and some are
Yeah.
rare. But I mean, the way you get stuff in that game, when you win, you get to spin a chance wheel.
Okay.
If you land in it, you get a loot box. And if you miss, even with the win, if you miss, you get like 3% added to the slice. And if you lose, you get 2% slice.
you will
Okay.
eventually
So-
win.
So,
Yeah. So I mean, it's not as consistent, but it works.
The real question with Rainbow Six Siege for me is why does everyone have so many anime profile pictures, and how do we make
Yeah.
it stop?
You don't.
It doesn't
You
stop.
don't.
It has-
They all
Can't
have anime
stop,
profile
won't
pictures.
Stop, gotta make the booty drop.
I've been
You
reporting them for
real.
like a straight year, and there's more.
Everyone that has an anime profile picture.
Yeah, I
you just-
report them all.
Toxic.
Yeah, but they keep coming back. It's almost like gremlins. Like they multiply, and they're just
They like
everywhere.
the female. They like the female characters.
But they're
Of all the
everywhere.
toxic interactions.
As
reason,
per Bill Simmons, Weeb Army knows no bound.
No, that's true. I mean,
they're all
Overwatch.
Rainbow Six.
Look up Overwatch on Google and let me know how fast
Nope.
porn image pops up. Like,
Nope.
I mean, Weeb's legit. If they see a female character that they can sexualize, and it happens.
There's
So
gonna be
fucking
so
weird.
much porn made of this new character. I already know it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
McCree and her, because they're
Ash.
dated. That's what they hinted at.
Oh god.
There's gonna be like so much porn.
She's gonna have a dick after like 3 days.
Oh my god.
Someone will draw her with a big dick, like fucking.
Oh,
McCree.
they've already done it. I'm sure.
no, absolutely. Someone is
Rule
legit right now,
34.
like sketching it up. They've been working on it all weekend so far. They're like,
And it's
"Oh,
probably Bill.
it's
I'm
probably
just kidding. I'm just kidding,
Yeah,
Bill.
plays-
Bill, link us to your DeviantArt page. We'll go check it out.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah,
just
you
like,
can
no, I already
use
made a
all
website,
that.
ashwithadick.com.
Oh my
Did you guys see the
goodness.
new red shirt guy at BlizzCon?
There's a
No.
New Year's
After-
Eve?
After the Diablo announcement, they had a Q&A. Some guy legit walks up to the mic and goes, "Is this some kind of out of season April Fool's joke?" And like waited for an answer.
What?
Oh, goodness.
And, yeah, it was. That had to have been the most awkward announcement. Those poor developers. Like, I feel
Yeah.
bad for them because they might have been like, "No, this is cool. They might like this," and then they're like,
I think it's really tacky that everyone booed, to be honest. But I expect
you're-
it from the community.
"I could see it being more."
That
like,
is the toxic community coming back out.
See, but in
you
toxic,
kind
in
of-
what sense? Like just booing? It wasn't like
no,
that bad
no,
of a
no,
boo.
not just booing. Not at all just booing.
I don't
but-
get this thing of toxicity that everyone keeps saying. They weren't
Okay,
that big a dick.
No, they weren't. But the thing of toxicity is, people going in with one thing set in their mind. Okay? But something doesn't go the one way they want. They hear someone go boo, the one person that really feels that way towards it. And then you got the people that are like, oh, let's try to make this fucking big. And then just boo with him. And then that just adds to, fuel to the fire.
I don't think it was as like mob mentality as you might think. I think it was legit people going, "I don't like this." One guy went boo, and they were like, "Oh, he's voicing it too, so I'll voice that I don't like it as well." I don't think it's so much people going like, "Oh, this will be hilarious on the internet." Like,
I don't think
yeah,
so either.
those people exist, but I think it was a legit outcry of disappointment, and
think that
they
is-
wanted to be heard.
Yeah, it was genuinely people expressing their discontent, and you can't get mad at them for that. Though we do live in a culture, and it has been more prevalent lately, of like widespread outrage for no reason. The
Yep.
whole Doom Eternal thing, like everybody was like, "Oh, SJWs are freaking out over Doom Eternal. It's so terrible. Let's make 1,700 videos about it on our YouTube channels."
But
They
then you
thirsted
also
down. There were like 5 tweets. Like everybody was freaking out making videos over 5 supposed SJW tweets.
Yeah, but then you think about it too, like these people who went to BlizzCon, they spent hundreds of dollars to go to this. Like the
Yeah.
ticket itself for BlizzCon is several $100s, and if
Yeah.
they don't even live there, they have to spend several $100s for
Mhm.
a plane ticket, and then they also have to spend several $100s for a hotel
Right.
room, and then food and whatever else they're gonna spend while they're there. So they're spending like $1,000 to go to this event, and then they're gonna release some shitty game like Diablo Mobile.
But
Whether
let's
you're gonna boo
be
or
real. That
cheer.
going
I
to any
think-
con, That's what's going to happen. You're going to get a big dev that does not have anything in the works, but they had something tiny in the works, so that's what they're going to send out.
Yeah, people can't be mad at them because they're not making exactly what they want. I get that you can feel discontent, and that is probably what started the boo. But it just kind of seems tacky. Like, if you don't like the game, don't download it on your phone, and then that'll probably portray the message that you're trying to portray without being tacky.
It's just an unfortunate
No,
confluence of events.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I mean, I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate and defending the people who did it, and like just trying to understand their situation. Like, what did they do to get to this point right now? And they're here.
It's
to
okay.
To listen to these announcements for like games that are supposed to be great from a developer that's made great games so far.
Do they have any other mobile titles? Like
Well, it's
full
like-
mobile titles?
Hearthstone?
Hold on 2 seconds.
Hearthstone's
I
on
will go
mobile.
through and check.
That's cross-platform. They have a PC version as well.
Yeah.
Full mobile. They said this
Not that I know of.
version, this will be a fully mobile,
Yeah,
no
I don't
PC
think so. I don't think so.
title.
I mean,
I think-
this is kind of in the vein of like Fallout 76, where like people got really hyped about it, and then like they found out that it was like this co-op online thing, and
It wasn't what they thought it was
then
going
a
to be.
shitload of people were like, no, go back.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, because like Fallout 4 like had such a great reception, you know.
Yeah.
So
Kinda.
now they're like expecting. Yeah, I mean,
They were
for
nitpicky
people-
about it. They thought it was a downgrade, some people.
Some people, but like.
But I mean, it's a Fallout game.
Yeah, it's a Fallout game, you know.
It's
So
got-
in terms of like Fallout, it still matched for the most part what the expectations were. But Fallout 76, after that, you know, it's kind of like what? What is
The
this?
interesting thing about Fallout as a series, though, is that whatever time that you come into the series is typically what you ally most with. Like, I came in around Fallout 3, like a lot of people my age did, and then
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you had people that when Fallout 3 came out that were older and had played Fallout 1 and 2, and like, this is bullshit. This is not Fallout. Get this away from me. And the same people that played Fallout 3 had that opinion when Fallout 4 came out.
Well, the difference between 2 and 3 is you went from RPG to a first-and/third-person shooter kind of thing. So I understand that kind of outcry where it's like you switched up a lot together, not just made a few gameplay, like changed the game. I get that kind of outcry, but like, I don't know. In this case, I guess we'll have to see how it actually plays as a game. If it plays a lot like PC Diablo, I think a lot of people might take another look.
Yeah,
I
like,
think
give them a
honestly,
chance.
I mean,
Well,
honestly, Diablo 3 itself, I can see that being put into a mobile game and being completely mobile because of the way that it plays. Because you're like basically overlooking the whole dungeon and you're just directing your character to like fighting the monsters or whatever is going on. So honestly, I could see that as a mobile game and be like very comparable to the actual PC version.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe everyone will like love it and they'll take it back. But I feel like booing before they even know just seems tacky. But maybe it kind of
You know
reminds
why
me
I
of.
think they booed? I think they booed at the fact because I think the boos literally came after they announced that it was on mobile. I think
But
just hearing that they
also-
ignored PC gamers, like
Yeah.
if they released on both PC, if they pulled like a Hearthstone where they're like, no, both
That would have fixed
cool.
it.
They would have been like, okay. I mean, even if it is kind of like a freemium game, people would still be like, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
It's a new Diablo. Maybe it is a little bit more like pay to. But I feel like they probably wouldn't have booed like they did. I think they just feel slighted because like we're PC gamers and you just like announced a mobile only game. Like, do you
Can
not
we
know the
also
room?
throw out that they threw the Diablo 3 on the Nintendo Switch?
They did.
Yeah, what does
I
that
think-
come out this
I
week?
don't
I
know.
think.
I don't know that anybody's mad about that there. Are they?
No, people love it. People are
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, they love it. So I mean, I know it's been 6 years since 3 came out, but
Yeah, I mean,
they're
it came out on
working
console
to-
originally, so I mean, no one's gonna be mad port it to a console.
Yeah.
It's just Switch happens to be mobile.
yeah.
It
think a
plays
lot
like
of
a regular
this-
game.
Mhm.
A lot of this derives from the fact that gaming is growing exponentially as a platform, and because of that, the avenues of gaming are also becoming a lot more lot larger and a lot more diverse, and so people do have a hard time, like as a developer, as a marketer, you do have a hard time like figuring out, okay, who the hell are we supposed to be like
Who's the
hyping up?
target
Yeah,
audience?
exactly. Like, because there are many facets of gaming now. There are many ways to game, and I think the companies are just kind of slower to adapt to who exactly is going to be buying this again.
It just seems a little selfish. Like, Blizzard releases so much stuff for PC, and it's like, who's to say that this isn't going to be released for PC later? Like,
They did.
Yeah.
They literally said this is not. Someone asked in like line their Q&A was like, "Are there any plans to bring this to PC?" And they were like, "No."
cool, but everyone has a phone. Just try it. If you hate it, then don't.
Wow, you should work at Blizzard because that was their next line when they started to get booed. Do you guys not have phones?
It's true though, kind
It's a
of.
meme. It's already a meme. It's someone legit said Diablo. Do you guys not have phones?
I mean, everyone does have a phone, so just give it a chance. Like, maybe it's awesome. Who knows?
I don't honestly, I don't think it's so much a platform issue. I think it's, we all know what they're gonna do to that game. They're gonna slice it the fuck up
I
and
think
put so much behind paywalls. Not
But what
fun
if
for
they
people that
don't?
enjoy the franchise? You know
I
they
think it's-
are. You know they
But
are.
what if they
about,
don't?
like, the tone deafness of it.
They didn't know the room. They did not
Yeah.
know the room.
No.
Like, they didn't know their
That should
audience.
not have been a staged
Yeah.
announcement at
That
all.
should
It
have
should have
been
been a
blog
quiet.
post.
Yep, it should have been like on
Yep.
announcement
Online.
on the internet. Yep.
Mhm.
But
It-
literally,
Blizzard launcher or something.
no,
Close the
Blizzard
window.
didn't have anything else to throw out right now.
I mean,
So don't
that's
have a
true.
don't have a panel.
What was it like? Some of the biggest
yeah, don't have a
announcement?
panel
WoW
at
Classic?
BlizzCon.
I mean,
yeah, it's one developer.
Yeah.
Yes.
so
Like,
that's
yeah.
the only thing they announced.
That is lit. There was that, and now they've had the seventh installment of fucking World of Warcraft that came out 2 months ago.
Well, they announced WoW Classic, and
Oh,
that's
no,
starting up finally.
No, Warcraft.
Battle. No,
Warcraft.
Battle of Azeroth.
Oh, the one that already came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's been their other biggest release. That was only
Exactly.
within the last quarter, so.
I can see how
They-
people would be disappointed spending all that money to get to the con and then being like, what new shit's coming out? Diablo on mobile. Like, I get that.
Jack shit. Go
That's
home.
fair. Like, they
Basically,
feel
right?
slighted. Like, I understand, but like, I don't
Hey,
know.
we have a new hero in Overwatch.
Yeah, people.
I thought you
She
were-
has a dick.
So, that was a
FYI.
surprise
All you have for
announcement.
me.
That was a surprise announcement.
So that's
100%.
hype as fuck. Like people probably
Yeah.
loved it.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
we just had Hammond.
Yeah, he did just come out like this last
Was that
quarter.
a surprise announcement? I was like
No.
hearing
There
about
was,
the
I saw
hero.
nothing about Ash before.
Nothing
Yeah,
before
about
that
nothing. There
announcement.
was literally nothing.
There
Nobody
was
said
changes to the
anything.
PTR, like
I mean, we knew
hinting
we were
at a
gonna
new
do
hero.
there.
No.
I
We
saw
knew we were
nothing
gonna
on
get
Reddit.
there.
Nothing
Nothing
at
on
all.
Reddit.
Then,
no
you, then,
YouTube
then you're not
videos.
around because I saw
Thomas,
a lot about
what
it.
did you see?
I'm on the
I mean,
internet
we've
probably
had-
more than you.
We've had hero
Saw nothing.
announcements. We've had hero announcements the last two BlizzCons. We knew this was
Oh,
coming.
Okay,
And it's always
well,
after a change in the PTR map of some
I mean,
sort.
we didn't know that it was Ash, obviously.
No
they didn't
idea.
even
Yeah,
know
that's
they were
what that's what we're saying.
That's
though.
what,
There was
yeah.
nothing
No
about
one was
the
aware of the character.
hero.
That's
Like,
the point of the
you could be
announcement.
there was gonna be
suspicious
another
of it, but,
hero,
like,
But I mean,
no one was like, it's gonna be
this is
Ash.
nothing
She's
new.
gonna have this. Like,
No one knew. That's the point of the announcement being at BlizzCon. But we
No, but
knew there was
sometimes
gonna be an
somebody always
announcement.
lets it leak.
Sombra last year.
there was a leak.
It was like
but
a
it
3 month
Moira
lead up
was
to
last
the
year.
Sombra announcement. Last year at BlizzCon.
Moira was last year at BlizzCon, I thought.
Yeah.
The f-
There was a
came out.
leak, but the leak that I saw wasn't true, so.
Yeah, there was one on
Wait,
Reddit.
can we also talk about the other robot bitch at the end? Who the fuck is that?
Wait, what?
The robot bitch that I was talking to.
That's her ultimate.
Yeah, that's her ult.
No,
No,
Bob.
not Bob. The white robot with the blue face that McCree was like, I want that crate, just that crate. And he opened it, put the little chip in her, and she woke up and was like, hey, we're getting the band back together. And she's like, ah.
That's Zenyatta's
So
girlfriend.
apparently, Jeff said that was like, I think her name was Echo.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah.
She'll probably be support.
Honestly, I forgot all about that. Yeah, he
Probably,
did
yeah.
wake her up at the end and was like, I'm gonna ride off now because I'm a
Yeah.
fucking cowboy.
And he was like, say hi to the monkey. He's an ape in the
Exactly.
first place.
Can we just say that Blizzard's going off of a Red Dead
That
Redemption
bitch
with
had
another
GPS.
cow person?
Another cow person.
Yep.
I don't think she's a cow person, but
Yeah,
she does
she
have a
is.
dick. So
She's
True.
definitely not a caliper.
Someone will make her a cow person. Look it up on.
Yeah.
Somebody draw up art cow person Ash.
Billy
What
Billy's in chat.
So it was kind of like a slow news day at BlizzCon, basically. Like they didn't have a lot.
Yes,
They were like,
exactly.
okay, got Diablo coming out. This is Ash. Don't draw with a dick. Thank you for coming.
Honestly, all I saw, I mean, there was some WoW news. I think WoW Classic, right?
Yeah,
And the
Yeah.
Overwatch stuff, and that was like really it.
but let's
Warcraft
be
3
real.
remastered. Pretty
Like
big.
WoW Classic, there's already so many vanilla servers that are online that you can hop on.
I mean, yeah, but fucking WoW people are gonna eat that shit up.
Well, no, I thought they shut that shit down because there was like
Not at all.
there were no like official classic server, and Blizzard was like, "Hey, we're gonna release that, so you guys have
I
to."
like
Cease and
literally
desist.
a couple months ago. I started up on a vanilla WoW server.
I don't play WoW. I don't know what
Well-
WoW Classic is necessarily to be deemed a different
It's-
version.
It's literally like the first installment of World of Warcraft. You know, level 60 cap.
Apparently, it's harder.
So I'm saying like, how is that different than playing the vanilla version?
Was it before like all the extra additions and the power?
Oh yeah,
boosts
no,
and all
it
that
was
bullshit?
it was literally like you bought World of Warcraft when that first came out on PC.
Are the graphics like
The
or are
super
graphics
dated ones?
always-
I doubt they're gonna do that.
No, they're the
That'd be
same.
crazy.
Probably.
Yeah, same graphics. It is
Yeah,
literally
but that
a
has never upgraded their graphics.
not at all. Nope.
Like at all.
That's
Like-
interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah, and I've
They've,
been
like,
able.
they've refined it a little bit, but they've never upgraded it. Like
Yeah.
the original art style and like the original, like everything pretty much has always been the
Mhm.
same. Since
And
vanilla.
I've been able to go on so many different servers. Like even after they get shut down, people have been throwing those up time and time again.
Yeah, people love it. Like I have a lot of friends that play WoW, and they all play vanilla servers. It's kind of like people that like aggressively wear snap pants because they're stuck in the past.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, like
Oh,
the pants
what?
that have
Yeah.
snap buttons on the
pants,
side.
man.
The pants
down
where
the
you can
side?
fucking snap them off, and then you have shorts.
Words. That's the
Pull those
fucking.
bitches right off, man. It feels good.
No, yeah, you're talking about like stripper shit.
Aw,
stripper
man.
No, I'm talking about
Those
pants
are like
to
tailor
shorts.
shorts.
I know what you're talking about, Brandon. I had some of
remember.
those. I was a fashionable '90s kid.
There we go.
90s kid.
Yeah, bro.
I was like being born in the 90s, so
Yeah.
That's very true too.
I had a pair of
Most of
trip
us.
pants, and I thought I was really cool. But then I threw them
What?
away after like,
Oh, you had
6
trip
months.
pants?
yeah, just one pair.
Oh my god.
Trip pants. I don't even remember what those look like.
They're like pretty,
There
like,
was about
baggy
17
and a bunch
chains
of
running
chains and
between
buckles.
your ankles
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
your waist.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But then I ditched it for denim skirts. That was in style when I was in high school.
denim skirts.
Denim skirts, like mini skirts. Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I had a wallet that had a chain that attached to your belt buckle.
Same I did
I
too.
thought you were gonna say you had a denim
Yep.
skirt.
I might
I had a
have
bunch.
those and
I-
used it as a kilt. I don't know.
It's like put some fringe and some Scottish shit on it. It'll be all right.
It'd be great. Make
Wear a
sure it's
flannel.
plaid denim.
Not gonna lie, at the
Plaid
last last week at the Renfest that I went to, there was a man that was there in a full denim kilt.
I could dig it.
Most Canadian shit I've ever heard.
What?
That was the most 10
Canadians
out
love
of
denim.
10.
Oh, I
thing
thought you
ever
said
seen in my life.
comedian, but you said Canadian. I was like,
Canadian.
how is that a
Canadian.
shit?
Canadian meat.
All right. Well, I mean, it's about time we can wrap up. Does anyone need to plug their book or anything?
Plug a book.
Plug our book.
You guys working on any projects you want to plug?
Working on some school projects.
Shut up.
So,
Shout out to my lit project.
Lit professor.
Garrett like had a fucking mind blank. No, but I do have something to plug real quick though. Brandon,
Alright, so we gotta go. It's been
Hey.
fantastic talking to you.
Brandon and I are putting together a Golf with Friends tournament.
yes, we are.
I'm probably gonna release the sign up like tonight-ish. But it should be really fun. It's gonna be 16 people, and it's gonna be like almost like bracketed sort of, but details will come. But
Doing it how Reese's do it. We can talk about this later. I was gonna say like a point system. You do a couple courses. First place gets 5 points. 4, 3,
That's
2.
what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, shameless plug. My stream will finally be up within probably the next week to week and a half.
Yay!
We will be doing tabletop. I will also be streaming Overwatch and any other fun games that I like to play. FTL, Binding of Isaac, things like that.
I can dig it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You want to play some War Thunder with me? Because I'm really sick of bitches sneaking up and blowing my fuel tank out of the fucking sky.
I definitely might be willing to do that.
Might
been
be
getting
willing.
back. Yeah, been getting back into shit. Some
Brandon.
Warcraft 3. Been getting back into that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know that you could
Two-
still play Warcraft 3.
2 and 3.
I
Because 3's about to. Oh man.
yeah, I saw that. Oh my god, that's actually really exciting. I used to play Warcraft
Yep.
a lot.
Same.
But
Everyone's played Warcraft instead of me, or instead of me.
Mhm. Everyone played Warcraft instead of Garrett. Why weren't we playing with Garrett?
I mean that's true too.
why
So.
are we playing Garrett?
no,
Yeah, no one
I played
with me
Warcraft
either,
3.
so.
Hang on.
But yeah, there will also be some IRL D&D games going on in my stream.
Yay!
There's that.
Yay. So what you're gonna say, Tara?
Like, was Warcraft like the old school Warcraft? Was it ever on any console whatsoever?
It was
No.
not.
Okay, because I remember seeing it way back when, like, you know, like you could rent games. You could actually go to a physical like location where they would rent your game. Yeah. And I remember seeing Warcraft in there, and I want to say that I was able to get it. Maybe it was for a computer. Maybe that was a thing. But like, I remember. trying
You
to play
used
it,
to
and
be able at Blockbusters get
yeah.
PC games.
Tried to play it, and I'm like, this confuses the fuck out of
Yep.
me, and then I never played it again.
I would play it with my dad every summer in Kentucky, and I hope he sees this because I'm still mad that like I never ever was
shit.
able to win ever. I would be like really proud because I had like I don't know some shit going on, and then I look over and he's like waterbound and like fucking up my shit already. I'm like, how did you get so much shit that fast?
It's like it sucks when your parents can
He
like
cheated.
they want to
No.
make sure that you know that they could do
He
stuff.
admitted.
I
I
knew
feel
some
like if
cheat
I ever
codes
had a
too.
kid, that would be me.
Yeah, because my dad did that with chess. You know, I'd be like, you know, losing my fucking mind. He would just be like,
I think they just thought it was funny.
So I have announcements too.
Tina!
So I am done with the semester in 2 weeks. So that
Oh
means
shit!
fuck him.
3-ish for the winter. So I'll be able to stream a little bit more. I'm gonna be working more, but I'll also be able to stream more at night. So that'll be
Yay!
fun. And next week I am gonna start playing Nier on the PS4.
Oh, hell
Oh shit!
Ooh yay!
So make sure to tune in.
All right.
Dry your eyes out.
Okay.
So I think
I
Go
think
ahead,
I'm
Thomas.
streaming after this. So
I was about to say I think a couple of us are gonna end up streaming after this. I don't know what. But
Deceit.
definitely
we're
everyone's
doing
got
Deceit.
a name
That'll
under
be-
them.
that'll be it.
So you can look up their channel and see what they're. And I think we're all gonna try to play Deceit. Not and say we did.
Nope.
Sorry, Tina.
Alrighty. So
Wait, what about Thomas? What is Thomas doing?
Thomas, plug.
He's not
shameless.
sure yet. He's either gonna play with us or he's gonna
No,
do
no,
Overwatch.
No,
Thomas
like,
is
in
shameless
his life.
plug.
I'm streaming after this. Something.
Yeah.
Overwatch,
Yeah, that's-
Defense, or Deceit.
Must be do some shit.
And he
Or
finished
something.
Red Dead, so that's gone. So what else is on
Yeah,
your
that
menu
was
for the
fun.
next few weeks?
Yeah, Red Dead's cool. You should check it out if you haven't. Little game. I'm sure you haven't heard of it.
It's super
Indie
low key.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Here, I'll go take
Let's talk about something else.
All right. Have a good night.
Ah.
See
I'll
you.
take it easy.